And here is the Writer's Almanac for Friday, November the 20th, 2020. It was on this date in 1820 a sperm whale attacked a whaling ship off the coast of South America, and the ship was the Essex out of Nantucket. The captain, George Pollard Jr., just 29 years old, the youngest man to ever command a whaling ship. The Essex was a pretty old ship and rather small. She was headed for the whaling grounds off the west coast of South America when she ran into a squall, lost her topgallant sail, and nearly sank. When they finally arrived near the Galapagos Islands, they found the grounds nearly fished out, so they struck out for a new whaling ground thousands of miles off the coast, much farther from land than whalers usually like to go hunting. On the morning of the 20th, they ran into a pod of sperm whales, harpooned a couple of them, and then found themselves face to face with an enormous whale who was behaving strangely. The whale rammed the ship repeatedly, crushed the bow of the Essex, and swam off, never to be seen again. The ship sank, and the crew set off in some of the small whale boats. They headed for South America. By the time they arrived at the Pitcairn Islands, some of them had died of thirst. Their food ran out. Some of them resorted to cannibalism. By the time they were rescued, many of them had lost their minds. But Owen Chase survived, wrote an account of the event. It came out in 1821. 20 years later, his son met another seaman, Herman Melville, gave Melville a copy of his father's book. Melville read it, and it inspired his book, Moby-Dick. And it's the birthday of the novelist Nadine Gordimer, born in Spring, South Africa, in 1923. She grew up in a middle-class white community near a gold mine where all the black workers were forced to live in a windowless barracks guarded by police. Never thought about who those miners were or what their lives were like until she read a novel by Upton Sinclair, The Jungle. She moved into Johannesburg and started writing short stories. Watched as many of her black friends were put under surveillance, arrested for treason. Nadine Gordimer, one of the few white novelists of her generation who did not go into exile, started to write about the South African political resistance in a series of novels, including The Late Bourgeois World, The Guest of Honor, The Conservationist. And for 60 years, she contributed short stories to the New Yorker magazine. In the short story, she said, "Contact is more like the flash of fireflies, in and out, now here, now there, in darkness. Short story writers see by the light of the flash." Here's a poem for today, a poem from the first book published in America, the Bay Psalm Book of 1640. Psalm 23. The Lord to me a shepherd is, want therefore shall not I. He in the folds of tender grass doth cause me down to lie. To waters calm me gently leads, restore my soul doth he. He doth in paths of righteousness for his name's sake lead me. Yea, though in valley of death's shade I walk, none ill I'll fear. Because thou art with me, thy rod and staff my comfort are. For me a table thou hast spread in presence of my foes. Thou dost anoint my head with oil, my cup it overflows. Goodness and mercy surely shall all my days follow me, and in the Lord's house I shall dwell, so long as days shall be. Psalm 23 from the Bay Psalm Book of 1640. That's the Writer's Almanac for Friday, November the 20th. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.